Let me begin this video by telling you about Neville Goddard. He was a spiritual teacher and author who believed in the power of the human mind to create the reality we experience. He believed that the law of assumption was the key to unlocking this power and manifesting our desires. In this video, we will explore Neville Goddard's teaching on the law of assumption and how we can use it to create the life we want. Neville Goddard was born in Barbados in 1905 and was a well-known spiritual teacher and author in the mid-20th century. He wrote over 10 books on the power of the human mind and its ability to shape our reality. Goddard believed that we are all divine beings, and the world around us is a reflection of our thoughts and beliefs. Goddard's teachings were based on the idea that we can create the reality we want by using our imagination and assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He called this process the law of assumption. According to Goddard, assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key to creating the reality we desire. What is the law of assumption? The law of assumption is the principle that we can create the reality we want by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is based on the idea that everything in our reality is created by our thoughts and beliefs. If we can change our thoughts and beliefs, we can change our reality. According to Goddard, the law of assumption works like this. When we have a desire, we must assume that it is already fulfilled. We must imagine ourselves in the state we want to be in and feel the emotions associated with that state. We must live as if our desire has already been fulfilled. The key to the law of assumption is to focus on the end result and not the process of getting there. We must assume that the end result is already here and act as if it is. We must believe that our desire has already been fulfilled and the universe will bring it to us. Goddard believed that the law of assumption was the most powerful tool we have for creating the reality we desire. It is the key to unlocking the power of our imagination and manifesting our desires. How to use the law of assumption. Using the law of assumption is a simple process, but it requires practice and persistence. Here are the steps to using the law of assumption. Step 1. Consciousness is the only reality. According to Neville, the first principle of the law of assumption is that consciousness is the only reality. This means that the world around us, including all the objects and circumstances we experience, is a reflection of our consciousness. Our thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes create our reality, and they determine what we experience in life. Neville taught that we must take responsibility for our thoughts and beliefs if we want to change our reality. We must be aware of our inner dialogue and make sure that it aligns with our desires. If we focus on negative thoughts and beliefs, we will manifest negative experiences in our lives. However, if we focus on positive thoughts and beliefs, we will manifest positive experiences. Step 2. Imagination creates reality. The second principle of the law of assumption is that imagination creates reality. Neville believed that our imagination is the most powerful tool we have for creating our reality. Our imagination allows us to create mental images of our desires and bring them to life. Neville taught that we must use our imagination to create a mental picture of what we want to manifest. We must feel as if our desires have already been fulfilled and visualize them in as much detail as possible. By doing so, we impress our subconscious mind with the image of our desires, and it goes to work to bring them into our reality. Neville believed that our imagination is not just a tool for creating our reality. It is also a gateway to the divine. Through our imagination, we can connect with our higher self and tap into the infinite intelligence of the universe. Step 3. Assumption is the key. The third principle of the law of assumption is that assumption is the key. According to Neville, assumption is the act of taking on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is the feeling of already having what we desire, even before it manifests into our reality. Neville taught that assumption is the key to manifesting our desires because it creates a vibrational match between us and our desires. When we assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, we align ourselves with the energy of our desires and attract them to us. Neville also believed that assumption is a state of consciousness that we can enter into at will. We can choose to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled at any time, regardless of our current circumstances. By doing so, we open ourselves up to a new reality and allow our desires to manifest in our lives. So, to summarize, Neville Goddard's teachings on the law of assumption are based on 3 principles. Consciousness is the only reality. Imagination creates reality. And assumption is the key. By understanding and applying these principles, we can manifest our desires and create the reality we want. We must take responsibility for our thoughts and beliefs, use our imagination to create mental images of our desires, and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled to align ourselves with the energy of our desires. Through these practices, we can tap into the infinite intelligence of the universe and manifest our deepest desires.